week 3. Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I know I wore this hat in last week's update, but right now, if you are in the Midwest, we are getting hit by a very severe snowstorm. So I will be living in hats, cardigans, and basically 4 layers for the next probably 2 to 3 days. So I figured I'm gonna bring the hat back out and stay warm. Also, let's just address the title of this video. If you saw my community post here on my YouTube channel, you saw that I forgot to pause my HelloFresh subscription for the 3rd week of January. I had logged in right after Thanksgiving and I had skipped a few December weeks and had a few weeks delivered so I could have meals during the busy season. And then I think they only let you skip like 6 weeks in advance. So I skipped right up into the middle of January, but forgot to log back in and continually skip. That's how they get you. I wish that these websites would let us, have a skip button that I can just click off and it won't deliver until I turn it back on. But I understand why they do it the way they do. So you can say yes for some weeks and no for some weeks at one specific time. Either way, I can make up excuses all day, but at the end of the day, I did have $70 charged from the HelloFresh subscription box to my credit card. And now that I think about it, and in retrospect, now that I'm trying to find a silver lining for this, the fact that we have a winter storm here in Central Ohio and the grocery stores are just swamped with people buying everything for this snowstorm and blizzard that's here, having 3 meals in my house that are, ready to be cooked and have all the ingredients might actually be a blessing in disguise. That's just how I'm going to view it. I feel like that's just a better way to say, hey, I messed this up, but I went on to HelloFresh and I paused up until March, and then I wrote in my Google Calendar to remind me 2 weeks in advance to go in and do it again. This is not HelloFresh's fault, nothing to do with them, still love them. They are a saving grace when I need them, but when you forget, that's when it's fun. And if I hadn't gone and checked my savings account with Chase, I wouldn't have actually seen the charge. I would have just come home and seen a box on my front porch. Other than that, let's talk about how we did this week. Quick recap from last week. I had my regular $80 in the 4 envelopes, 20 a piece, 20 in gas, 20 in grocery, 20 personal, 20 miscellaneous. I also had $30 left over from last week, mainly because last week's grocery bill was only $6. Well, this week, and I kept my receipt to show you, this week my grocery bill was $54.84. You can also see above that I paid in cash because, of course, we're trying to give the credit card a break. That's the whole purpose of doing this no spend. So, needless to say, the $20 that I have normally set in for groceries plus the $30 that I had from last week that rolled over got me up to $50, and then I used $10 of my personal money to make up the rest of this balance. I really did need a lot of staples, and I made a really big batch of chili that I put into my little containers, and I took them every day for lunch. My lunches this week were great. They were chili, hummus and carrots, Dan and Greek yogurt. I made my own little homemade double chocolate chip cookies, so I knew exactly, what I was putting in my body this week, and it was great. Still going strong, by the way, for my goal of not having any Starbucks signature coffees until my birthday, February 15th. So we are 3.5 weeks in, still feeling really good when I don't start my day off with the heavy creams, sugars, all the good stuff that comes in with those featured coffee drinks. I do still get coffee, sometimes from Starbucks, sometimes at home, sometimes at school, but it is black coffee. Not having those drinks from Starbucks is really, really helping in the, trying to lose weight for the wedding, but that is a future video for a future time. Other things we spent money on, let's just go through the list. We did $60 on food because I needed to meal prep, $10 in gas. I did a movie night. Christopher and I went and saw a movie, and it's sad because I forget what it is now. What did we see? Spider-Man movie. The Spider-Man movie. It was really good. He likes those kind of movies. I'm more of the typical basic girl that likes the romantic comedies, but we compromise. That's what married couples do, right? So we did a date night. All in all, what is left in this envelope? I pulled this right out of my wallet. I have 20, 30, 2, 3. I have $34 left over from this week, so I don't think that's bad. especially because I spent so much on groceries. But I was lucky that I had the 30 from week 1. That money was seriously my saving grace this week. I didn't know how I was going to do. I did my grocery shopping on the Sunday, came home and put everything in a crock pot, and then while the chili was cooking in the crock pot, I had about 4 hours cooking it on low. I cleaned my house, did my laundry, my dishes, set everything up in my meal prep. I don't think I sat down for about 5 hours on Sunday, but it felt so good to get everything prepped and ready to go, and the week just went by so smooth. As a teacher, and let me know down below if you're a teacher and you do the same thing, I took my scheduling planner, like my lesson plan book, and I made a countdown for every single 3-day weekend. So MLK weekend right now, President's Day next month, I'm going to a conference in 2 weeks, so I'll have a 3-day work week, and then I have a big countdown for the weeks until summer break. And right now, at this point in time, it is 18 weeks until summer break. I'm going to need to figure out what I'm going to do for summer break, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm getting off topic just because it's week 3 and I'm finally starting to see like the light at the end of the tunnel. At the beginning of this year, I was really stressed out because I pay my HOA fees in full, like the entire year. That's like over $3,600 in one check. I pay my home guard, which if you don't know what that is, my home insurance covers a certain number of things, but there's some things they don't cover, and everything they don't cover, my home guard covers. So I pay my home insurance and my mortgage, but I pay my home guard also in full, which cost me $700. So in retrospect, I spent a lot of money this month, but it wasn't just throwing money places. It was setting things up and getting them all paid in full, so once January ends, I can start putting money back into my savings account, which I did today because it was payday and I didn't have a credit card to put money towards. So I put money into the checking, so when these checks for HOA go through and my home guard go through, there's money there for that. And I put some money back into my savings account. If you watched a video back during Vlogmas, I'll link it above in the cards. It was called I Owe $5,000. Now that I went through and crunched the numbers a second time, it was really I owe $6,800, $6,800, no joke, between quarterly taxes and the fact that I find out that now I have to pay taxes on the unemployment that I got last year, which is fine. We'll figure it out. The $5,000 quickly went up to $6,800, but now with the home guard paid off, the quarterly taxes sent out, the HOA fees done. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention my mortgage got paid this week as well, but that's automatic, and everything else that is on that list, I just kind of wrote it, paid it, and put it away. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and man, does it feel good to think, you know what, I'm getting all this stuff paid off, and I don't have a huge credit card bill right now. My credit card bill is $70 right now. Thank you, HelloFresh. To continue to prep for the New York trip in March, I did start teaching a little more on VIP Kid. I have been mainly doing it on 1 or 2 weeknights and then between 6 and 7 o'clock a.m. before school starts. But those paychecks won't come in until February. I get those checks once a month. Once this January no spend is done, it's mainly going to be just saving money to go to New York. I would like to cash flow that entire trip. Flights and hotels are already booked and paid for. But speaking of travel, I actually have a trip coming before New York. In 2 weeks, when I film the last and final episode of the 2019 No Spend, unless I magically lose my job and we do it again till June. Can we please not do that? That would be really great. I will be filming our last No Spend, I believe Saturday, February 2nd, so 2 weeks from right now, and I will not be here. I will not be in Columbus. You will see me most likely in an Airbnb that has already been purchased. I will be at a conference. I'm very excited to go, but I've also been saving a little bit of this extra cash here. I'm going to try to cash flow the parts that are responsible from my end to go. The conference entrance fee and registration were already paid for by my school, and I had to pay for my own transportation and hotel, but I already paid those. I actually charged them and paid them off on my card in December, so it was already paid and done. But things like food and entertainment, you know, we are obviously responsible for, so whatever is left over between this week and next week's No Spend will go into that travel fund. All right, really quick, because I've been blabbering because I'm just so excited that it's a 3-day weekend. So pumped. Also, side note, low-key upset still that it is snowing on a weekend. Dear Ohio, when can we get a blizzard on a school week, on a school week, so we could get a snow day. Please. All right, you know the drill. Let's do it. 20 in gas, 20 in grocery, 20 in personal, 20 in miscellaneous. My goal this week is to not touch last week's rollover money and maybe save between $20 and $25 of this week's cash. I know I'm going to have to pay for gas, so it's probably going to be 15 of my 20 because my gas tank's a little bit low and I don't like it to sit low when it's icy and cold outside. So maybe I'll save 5 of this. Maybe. We'll see. Grocery, I haven't decided what I'm making. It's a 4-day week. I really don't want to go to the grocery store right now. My teacher friends have been texting and saying, don't go to any grocery store. It's a madhouse right now with the blizzard here. So we'll figure that out. But I do know HelloFresh will not be coming this week. So just going to be safe and say I'm taking all of this and probably half of personal. We'll say about 30. So maybe I'll keep 5 to 10 of the personal, 5 of the gas, so maybe I can save 20 to 25. Miscellaneous, I don't know what's going to happen with this yet. I have nothing on my schedule that says I have to go out and spend extra cash. Nothing has broken yet, and nothing really needs repaired or replaced, so we will see what happens with this. At the end of the week, if I could put this into this cash flow money, I would be very happy to do that. But let me know down below your wins or losses this week if you are also doing a no spend. For me, once again, I'm happy that I had a $30 surplus, but I was not happy that $70 was charged to my credit card because of a HelloFresh, oversight. Lucky for me, though, I won't have to pay that until March 20th because my Chase bill for January is on a 1-month delay. I don't know why that is. It's just always been that way. So I can make up that money clearly. I think March is actually a 3-pay month, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just not something I was really planning on having. One good win I haven't talked about in this video is my really nice winter puffy coat. I had holes in the pockets, and rather than just go out and buy a new coat, I pulled the pockets inside out and stitched them up myself, so now they are perfectly good to use. And I think that coat was well over $100. I got it from my mom. Side note, thanks, Mom. And I did not have to go out and buy a new one because I fixed it, and it is very nice to just have, some thread and needle in the house, stitch things up when they need it. My mom stitched up this cardigan that she bought me because there was a hole in the pocket. No, my mom does not buy all my clothes, but just ironically, she had bought me those 2 things, and we have fixed them. That is my win for the week. Please, please, please let me know yours down below. I will most likely be reading them under blankets, hiding from the winter cold all weekend. If you are also somewhere that is getting cold, snowy weather, please stay inside, stay safe, and warm, and enjoy your weekend as much as you can. If you get MLK Day off on Monday, enjoy, do something with your friends, your family, do something for yourself. And if you are still one of the people who is affected by this government shutdown, thoughts to you guys. I really don't know what it's going to take to make this go away, and I know this is not a political YouTube channel and it never will be, at least while I'm running it, but we're thinking about you. That's really all I can say. Just hoping that some way this can be resolved so you guys can go back to, work and providing for your families and those people that you love. But other than that, you guys, be nice to people, be kind, stay warm, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye, guys.